Hi, it's Eve from Fast and Feasting Foodie. In this podcast, I'm going to talk about what to eat on intermittent fasting. Uh, there are opinions that you should eat or you can eat whatever you want, and it is presented as the great benefit of this style of eating. You can eat whatever you want and still lose weight and still have good results. But I think it's not entirely true because actually it would mean that we can eat whatever we want, eating 3 meals a day or 5 meals a day if what we eat does not matter. So we should be healthy even eating 3 meals a day uh, on whatever we want. But it's not. We know it's not true, and uh, I particularly think that when we limit our meal frequency, it's very important for us just to choose proper food for those few meals that we eat during the day, be it 2 meals, 1 meal plus snacks, whatever your method is or protocol is. And I'm very, very far from thinking that you could eat whatever you want and lose weight and feel fabulous. Because if you eat junk food and if you eat ill-balanced meals, you wouldn't feel good. So, what is my suggestion? To eat healthy, as least processed food as possible. I'm not saying whole food only, because I've been there before, and I know that it leaves you with the feeling of deprivation. When I started intermittent fasting, I was so scared about this eating strategy that I was eating 1 meal a day actually plus snacks, that I was a little bit afraid that I might not be well, that I'm doing something bad for me, and that's why I decided to eat as well as I can, and I decided to eat whole foods only, and I ate quite a lot, and still I lost weight because I just stopped eating sweets, junk food. But it didn't last for long. It didn't last long because I had this feeling of deprivation, and whenever you've got the feeling of deprivation, sooner or later you are bound to break down and to eat those prohibited foods. And that was my case. That was something that happened to me. I started incorporating more and more processed food because just I felt like eating them. I like them. I like variety. And whole foods don't give you this variety because you are limited to very small, so some products that are whole food, and then you can just process them at home, and that's it. So you cannot eat cheese, you cannot eat pizzas, bread, buns, ice cream, unless you prepare it from scratch, from unpasteurized milk and fruit. But anyway, so you shouldn't just believe that you should eat or you can eat whatever you want. You should eat well. And if you're not eating well, you should change it. Of course, not dramatically. You should be comfortable with this style of eating if you want it to last. And if it doesn't last, the results wouldn't last. So it's not worth the effort. Just simply. And the other thing that might interest some people is not only what we shall eat, but what sort of products we shall eat. On intermittent fasting, we've got those eating windows. They differ depending on the protocol, but generally those eating windows are not lengthy. 8 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour when you eat one meal a day, or when you are on 23-1 protocol, 23-1 protocol, so you fast for 23 hours and eat for an hour. So what should you eat? Because you are used to breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you are used to breakfast food. You are used to such a thinking that there is breakfast food, that there is lunch food, and there is dinner food. And what if you eat in the evening? Does it mean that you have to resign from breakfast food? So cereal, porridge, milk, yogurts, kefirs, or if you're eating in the middle of the day, so in lunchtime, does it mean that you just cannot eat breakfast food and dinner food? Of course not. No matter how many meals you've got on intermittent fasting, and what is the length of your eating window, you can incorporate any foods you want, and I advise you not to limit yourself and to exclude certain groups of food. Especially, it's very important in case of OMAD. Some people, especially in English-speaking cultures, might exclude dairy, because dairy is connected with breakfast only. There aren't many dishes with dairy. There aren't many lunch dishes made of dairy. There aren't many dinner dishes made of dairy. It's quite different. For example, in Poland, where I live. So be just careful not to include the breakfast food into your meals. There are not breakfasts actually. Although technically you might break your fast after 23 hours of fasting with breakfast, yes. So no matter when you eat your meal, just you can eat whatever you want as far as it is nutritious and healthy. Of course, don't be a slave to this healthy thing, because what impacts our health is what we eat regularly, not from time to time. So when you eat something that is not healthy from time to time, or something that is not well balanced from time to time, nothing is going to happen to you. Nothing awful is going to happen to you. Because what matters is what you eat every day, regularly, for days and months and years. So don't be a slave to this style of eating, and avoid deprivation, because it will strike back. So that's all that I wanted to tell you about what to eat on intermittent fasting. I hope that you found it interesting and helpful. Thank you very much for your attention. See you. Bye.